Hello, I'm Malcolm, and I'm all alone because Janice is sick this week. But you know, as they say, what's it like being an artist, a yoga teacher, and do you know, behind every great footballer, there's a mother. And our special guest in this episode is Melinda Haightley. Next on Our Time. Welcome to Our Time. Well, this episode's a bit more like my time because Janice has the flu. And the flu that seems to be sweeping the country at the moment, almost everybody knows somebody who's come down with the flu, even though we all had the flu shots. So it was obviously worth having the flu shots because who knows how bad that strain of the flu would be without a shot. But Janice, all our love and best wishes to you. I hope you get well soon. I have another lovely lady sitting next to me whose name is Melinda, but preferably you like being called Mel?
Mel is fine.
Mel Haightley. Mel, when did you get into yoga?
I first got into yoga, it would have been over 20 years ago. I would have been 21, 22.
What? You're not that old.
I am that old. So my mother took me along to a yoga class in Canberra where we lived, and I went to a little community centre. And I remember the feeling after my first class, going home and just feeling so calm, thinking, wow, you know, what is that? I haven't really felt that serene feeling before. And then I went along the following week and felt it again. I was thinking, oh, there's something to this. And so kept going, and, you know, 20 years later, I have found myself teaching yoga. It was always something that I wanted to do, but having 3 young children, didn't really find the time. Well, I didn't give myself the time to do the training.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because everyone's talking about wellness now, and it is about finding time to be well, I suppose, isn't
Definitely,
it?
yes, have to put yourself
Was that a hard thing for
lot.
you to come to terms with, having 3 children?
No, ever since I was young, I wanted my own children. That was my dream, to have my own children and be a stay-at-home mum, so I was lucky enough that I could do that. But
not necessarily be a yoga teacher as well. And all of the other things, artist, and now mother to an up-and-coming footballer. So your whole story, and also living in a school, because your husband is...
headmaster at Trinity College.
So they lock you up at night too?
I lock the gates, yes.
Because you actually live in the school?
We've lived at on school grounds since we were first married over 20 years ago. So we were,
Is that weird? Like having kids?
We are used to it now. It does have its moments. The children, I think, benefit. There are some negatives, but definitely there's more positives.
Well, there's all those play areas.
Yeah, definitely. Having friends over and the kids can run around in the school holidays and have the whole school to themselves, and, you know, being so close, they can just roll out of bed, get dressed, and off they go to school, and they're there.
Isn't that amazing?
So it is. It's a different lifestyle, but we really enjoy it.
Yes, but the sound of kids playing, I guess that happens at weekends as well.
Yeah, the sports.
It's being surrounded by life, I guess.
Absolutely, and you just hear them playing at lunchtime, and I often stop and just think, oh, listen to that, and so beautiful, just hearing that playful laughter. And
yeah, do you think that's possibly why people get so sort of strung up and lose their health? Because they're not as connected with people, and particularly young people. As I grow older, I say quite often to friends, always make sure you've got younger friends as you grow older, because your old ones will pop off and you'll all be left alone. But having kids around you, young people around you, I think keeps you up to date with what's going on.
That playful nature and just that spontaneity and living life for the moment.
But just getting back to the yoga, but yoga isn't really spontaneous though, is it?
No.
Is it? Can you explain, you know, people talk about yoga all the time, but to be honest, I see people with their bum in the air, not quite sure what they're doing.
That would probably be a downward dog.
Nothing like a downward dog. Oh, I've always wanted to try that.
Well, yoga, the meaning of yoga is to unite your body, mind and soul. So yoga is not just physical exercises. There's 8 limbs of yoga, which I won't go into.
Oh, go on.
No.
8 limbs?
No, that's
I've
very
only got
deep.
4.
So I feel like I'm only just tipping my toe into the whole world of yoga. There's so much to learn. You know, it's an ancient tradition and the teachings are really deep.
But hasn't it more or less become what's accepted today more recently, like within the last 50 years or so?
I think in the West, definitely.
In the West, yes.
Yeah, which is a good thing. You know, I think the ancient teachings something probably that a lot of us in the West aren't really experiencing on the yoga mat in our studios. So,
But is it fair to say, as cultures developed and the Western culture developed in its way, and I suppose the Eastern, is that the correct terminology, developed in its way? It's like in medicine, the medicine we understand is pretty much chemically based, whereas their medicine is plant-based, more plant-based, and so on. I was watching a telly program the other night and someone was talking about a similar sort of thing, and I thought, yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's like with religion. Different cultures go in different pathways, but in the end it's all about trying to live long and be healthy.
yeah, definitely, and just being the best you can be each moment. And I think if yoga is something that works for you and it makes you feel good, then great, go for it. You know,
Do you do something every day?
I try and do something every day. Since becoming a teacher, I don't actually practice as regularly as I used to, but I'm definitely conscious of being mindful every day, and it's probably filtering through my life in more ways than I expected.
But taking a class, do you do multiple classes in the same day?
I do, the most would be 2 a day.
So you're really getting 2 workouts that
Yeah.
people coming along would only do once?
Very different from teaching to participating in a class, I think.
Yeah, I guess so, because you're always working ahead with your head, but you're demonstrating, so you're doing it.
Yeah, I am, definitely, yeah.
This peace of mind that you were talking about after you've done a class, can you explain that a little more? How does it feel?
I think it's just a feeling of being in touch with your true nature and just silencing the mind, quietening the mind, which so many of us get caught up with, the thoughts of our mind causing chaos.
Is there a sense of humour? Or is it all very serious?
No, I think definitely a sense of humour. I think you can't, well, it's hard to go through life without a sense of humour.
Well, that's true. I just think it's lovely when you see a class and you see everyone looking into somebody else's backside.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a sense of humour with those sort of things. When the mats are close and there's a crowded class, yeah.
Yes.
You know, you get friendly with your neighbours.
Very friendly. Well, but that's just one side of your life, and we're going to talk about sort of 4 or 5 aspects of your life, which I find absolutely fascinating. Let's talk about your art. How did art begin for you?
Oh, I think art was built into me from my beautiful mother, who is I call her a real artist. She does beautiful botanic work. I'm very much an abstract artist, and I say I'm an emotional artist, and I throw my colours around as my emotions change. But I used to go with Mum to Capitol Hill, which is now Parliament House in Canberra.
Right. Yes.
As a little girl before I'd started school, and we had the Labrador, and Mum would take her easel and she'd set up and she'd paint for the day, and I'd just run around in nature, and it was just beautiful. So it was probably something that really resonated with me and just felt good, you know, being in nature and watching Mum paint. And then over the years, just feeling that creation through myself, you know, realising it's probably like yoga actually, just that feeling of being me, you know, allowing the colours to flow.
Yep.
And so again, it stopped when the children were younger, and I've been back into it now for probably a good 8-9 years, really diving into it.
Let's have a look at some of your pieces, because they're really lovely. It's the colour palette that you use, and there's a lot of vibrant honesty about the colours. This one here, you give your heart to me, not hand, I think. Is there something behind this? What does this mean to you when you look at it?
That one.
Look back at it, because you did this some time ago.
It's actually not one full painting, that one. It has a little story. So that is remnants of a painting. They're all different little paintings that I've cut up.
Oh, okay. Within the shapes. Oh, I see.
And I was giving them out to people at a meditation that I did the other day. It was just a little gift from me to them. So they're all my colours, cut into hearts to spread the love.
well, this is completely different.
Yep.
From the inferno to the heart.
I remember that. It was a cold day, and that was definitely some warming colours, a deep red.
Well, no, that's interesting, because if you were sitting at home or sitting in a gallery looking on at that, that really does give that feeling of warmth. It really bursts out.
Yeah.
Let's look at another one.
Similar, yeah. I can see the circle in that.
This, I don't know, but that makes me feel of the sun.
I think from memory that might actually be called setting the sun or something to do with the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do
That
have a
really
lot of-
comes through.
I have-
Well, a lot of abstract art doesn't really always tell you what the artist was thinking.
No.
Sometimes it's a bit hard to do.
I think
What
it
were
would be-
they thinking with
I
that?
don't even really think we know what we're thinking.
Well,
Circles.
see, being a Piscean, my birthday being in March, to me that's very Piscean colours, and
the water.
I'm very attracted to those colours.
Ocean colours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Is that what it means to you? Is it like
Yeah,
the bubbles in
definitely.
the ocean?
Yes, and that definitely felt like the ocean to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Aquaman. Here's some more.
Oh, that one. Okay, I see two figures in that. That was,
Yes, I can see that.
yeah, I felt like that was two souls connecting on a spiritual level. So that just appeared. I don't try and do anything. I can never
You
sit
just
down
let-
and think, right, I'll do this. I
Let
just
the art
let it come.
do itself.
Let
Here's
the
some
come.
more. Here's a couple more.
Okay.
This one is more or less inspired by your mother's work.
Well, they're photos. So they're the photos of the leaves that I collect.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you paint them? No.
No, that's just a photo of
They're the natural colours.
of leaves.
But
Yeah.
the bottom one, oh, here, and with this,
They're
the
just
bright red.
things that inspire me. Everywhere I go, I'm finding little pieces that inspire me, and I just look at the colours in the leaves. And
Well, we're just going to talk about being a football mum. Just drop your son's name.
Jackson Haitley, number 9.
We'll be back to talk about Jackson in a minute. We're talking on this episode of Our Time with Mel Haitley, and we're talking about her son, who is how old?
He's 18.
You adopted him then when you were 6?
No, I had him when I was...
You're such a young mum. But how old is he?
He's 18. Yeah.
18. He's not living in South Australia now, living in
No.
New South Wales. Is that hard?
Moved off to Sydney. It was definitely hard. The first 4 or 5 months took a lot of adjusting. There was a lot of tears, but happy tears. And now he's settled and I've adjusted and it's all good.
Do you FaceTime him every day, or is there
No,
that?
we don't actually FaceTime every day, but we're definitely, in contact every day. Technology makes it much easier, and talking and texting and just watching what he's up to.
Mum, what do I do with the washing? Is it those sort of calls?
There's
or-
been a little bit of that. Not too much. He's pretty independent. He's proved himself to be a good young man.
I think if you're dedicated to anything in life, you realise you have to do certain things
Yeah.
to be able to fulfil your goals and
Definitely.
dreams.
Yep.
So you've got how many children? 3?
3 children.
Boys, girls.
2 boys and a girl. Jackson 18, Riley 16 and Charlotte 10.
The other 2 sporty? Because they're in the school and they can go out and play anytime
2
they want.
sporty boys, definitely. And then my little Charlotte is not as sporty. She's more of the animal lover into
Oh, okay.
nature. She does do gymnastics and she gave netball a go. But yeah, she's...
So tell us, how did you recognise in your son that there was the talent there? Because I guess every parent wants their child to be successful in some way. Rising to the top like cream, I suppose, in any chosen field can be both exciting and also you realise you're going to lose your child to a degree.
Yeah.
Or lose some of the years of them growing up.
definitely. And it happened so quickly in the end when he left. But he was so committed since he was a little boy, since he was a toddler. It was almost like he knew that he wanted to be a football player, and that's what he's worked towards all his life, really. So he sacrificed, social outings and things growing up so he could train and just wanted to be the best he could be.
You've got to. I think sort of with a lot of young people, they're losing that understanding that if you want to be the best, you have to really put the time in.
He seemed to just have that.
And it's training. Did he
self-motivation.
train every day?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
And not only the training, but it was the food that he put into his body, the mental preparation.
Was that a
he
bit
would
of a
have to do.
shock to you as a mum? Because most kids are looking for at least junk food once a day.
Yeah, no, it was. I feel so proud of him because he just made a statement. I think he was probably 10 or 11 that I don't want to eat junk anymore. Not that we do a lot, but he definitely, like at birthday parties and things, he would go and choose the healthy things or just not eat at all. So it's been pretty impressive to watch, and I can't say it's from us because we definitely haven't hounded him. He's been so self-motivated and wanting to do it. So
It's brilliant, isn't it? So I suppose every parent wants the best for their children, but how do you cope with the fact that he's away from you now you're watching him from afar, almost like a separated situation. Oh, I wish I could be there to watch that. Or does TV show you that? Oh, just explain who he plays for.
So he got drafted to GWS, the Giants in Sydney, and he's now...
How did that happen? How did that drafting actually happen?
Well, we all went to Melbourne. We were lucky enough that he was identified, I suppose, as being in the top 20, and we were invited to Melbourne as a family, and we went along to draft night. So that was interesting, but definitely a roller coaster, because you get drafted one day and within 2 days he's gone. So we didn't know where he'd go. He could have gone anywhere. So
home would have been nice.
Home would have been nice, but looking back, you know, now I can see that Sydney is a great place for him, and he's learning so much, and he's surrounded by good people. So it's all worked out well. But it is hard, the games, watching from TV, you know, just the whole side from injuries. You think, oh, if anything happens.
Exactly, yes, that's exactly
okay,
right.
just keep trusting that it's all okay, and knowing that he's surrounded by such good people.
People are there to take care of him.
Yeah, makes it easier.
Do you worry as a mum, though, as to what's happened to a lot of the people in sport, both male and female, with the pressures on them and the expectation of the public also to hold sports people up as icons in our society?
Yeah, I think it's a huge pressure for them, and even more so these days it seems to be. But I think I feel really confident that Jackson's got his head screwed on at the moment anyway. I can say that from where he's been. And I think coming back to the wellness side of it, you know, he has done yoga with me a lot. He's done meditation, so he's quite grounded.
Do you think that helped him with the sport?
Yeah, definitely.
Physically as well as mentally?
Physically, yep. I think just lengthening, strengthening. I always used to say to him, the more you bend, the less you break. So, you know, keeping that flexibility. You've got your range of motion. You know, things that usually snap or break might not do so if you've been lengthening and strengthening.
Well, I suppose some of it's muscle memory as well.
Yeah.
The body's prepared to do that. I come from a dance background, so I'm more familiar with what we would do as exercises to do all of those same
well, it would be similar.
So
really,
they're very similar.
Kicking up and reaching out. And,
yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stretching. Really.
Yeah, definitely.
Lengthening everything that you've got.
Yep.
For your other two children, are they sort of a little bit behind the eight ball now that he's had that success? I mean, in a mother's eyes, all kids are equal, but is it difficult for them knowing their brother's off doing that and they're still here? Do they have that same sort of ambition, do you think?
I don't think so. I think our second child, Riley, has definitely got his own little world, and I think he wants to be a teacher. So he loves sport, but he's not as passionate about it, I don't think, as Jackson was. So no, he shines amazingly in his own way. And Charlotte, she's just, you know, we were watching the football on the weekend and Jackson's on TV and she's off playing with her dolls. And so she's really not fussed by the whole thing. She's great. You know, she's happy when he comes home and excited to see him, but no, it doesn't bother her.
Yeah, see, we hardly hear these sort of stories behind, because it's all about the sports player or the actor or the whoever, you know, that's being held up.
It might be different if we ask Riley and Charlotte what they think, but I'm not sure. From my point of view as a mother, I don't think it's affected them.
They think he's our brother who cares.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what do you want now for yourself in life?
Oh.
There's the artistic side, and we should make a point of what you do with your art.
Okay, so what I do with my art. So I got to a point where I had so much art in my house and I just didn't know.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, yes, because it takes over the dining room and the hallways, and we can't sit at the table and eat. So I actually did the Variety Trek. It would have been 8 years ago now, I think, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And
Where did that go? Where was the trip?
It was in the outback of South Australia.
From Adelaide?
From Adelaide, yeah. Yep. With Troy Gray and a group of people. That was great. So I had to raise $20,000 for that. And I was thinking, oh, how do I do this? So the first thing I thought was, and some friends encouraged me, sell your art, sell this that you've been doing. So committed to it. So I thought, okay, it was really, really scary for me to put my art out there for the first time, but I had an exhibition at the Old Lion, the first one I did.
Okay, the Old Lion is one of the most popular sort of hotels in the North Adelaide area here in South Australia.
Yeah, and that went well, and I ended up raising $20,000 in the one night. So I was overwhelmed with that, and that was definitely, giving me the confidence to go on and do more. So then every year since then, I've just been choosing a charity or a family and putting my art to that and just raising money.
So you're not keeping the proceeds of your work, is that what you're saying?
No, I haven't been. No, I'm giving it away. So one day I think I might grow up and sell my art and keep the money and buy some more canvases and paintings. But, I feel so lucky that I don't have to do that. My husband's got a great job, so I think, share.
That's brilliant. We were talking before about looking for people in need that you could work within that sort of structure.
Yeah.
And you have a website, don't you?
I do. I have a website, Vibrant Light Wellness, and an Insta page, Melinda Eve Art. So they cross over a bit, but I'm always
can people
looking.
contact you through those?
Definitely, yeah.
So if maybe you've got someone in need that you think Melinda's paintings or Mel's paintings may help, maybe just get in touch with her. You just never know who's watching this and who thinks, gee, those people down the street, they really need a helping hand. That's the sort of thing you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not looking at major charities.
No, I did. Obviously, I did variety. That was great. But I really would love to work, with families or, children, just giving somebody.
Are you seeing any of that through the school, or is the school sort of a little microcosm of its own sort of thing?
Yeah, no, the school does its own stuff. So I don't. Oh, I donate paintings for the foundation that help children in need and help children with school fees and things. But I haven't done anything working, specifically with the school. They have their own thing. I try and do a little separate.
Well, that's great that you're doing that in the first instance, because education at any age is so important, and if you can sort of get the young in the right way, like your son, to have that, anyone driven like that, to be able to find them and give them that extra push, is fantastic.
Definitely, yep.
What a lovely lady. We're going to be back in just a minute with a bit of a wrap-up chat with Mel about a couple of other things that we haven't talked about yet. Stay with us. Chatting with Mel Hately here on Our Time. Finding your passion in life is really a very important thing for all humans to do. Some people never seem to be able to quite find what it is they love or what it is they're best at doing. Have you got any advice as to how to find that?
Oh, I think definitely.
It's a hard question.
It is, but tuning into what makes you smile.
Why are you touching this around your neck?
I do this.
Tell me about
my pendant, and I feel it's my Larimer. Every time I get nervous, I hold on to it, so I'll try and stop doing that.
I know, sitting next to me, I can understand.
I know, you're giving me this butterflies. No, finding your passion, I just think what lights you up, feel it, what makes you smile, what makes your heart feel good. And I remember a defining moment for me was like, I love yoga, I love painting, and I kept thinking, I want to be a yoga teacher, I want to be an artist. And I was like, well, I'm the only one that can make that happen. Get out there and do it. And so I was a bit hard on myself, and I really just launched myself into it and thought, I have to do it. And now I'm living it.
But that's truly the best advice. What you just said is exactly the best advice. No one's going to give it to you.
Yeah, no.
You've got to find it within yourself and get out and do something about it. I couldn't agree with you more. I think as a kid, we're talking about the painting, I drew for as long as I can remember. Never played sport, not the least bit interested.
No.
Kicking a ball around I couldn't find a logic for, but I could find a logic for painting.
Definitely.
And you think, why? Why are some people born with that gift and other people are born with that gift? And some people feel, I've got no gifts at all.
But you do. So everyone's different.
Everyone does. That's absolutely true. It could be as simple as cooking or ironing clothes.
Yes, that's definitely not mine.
Don't look at the shirt under the coat. Mel, it's been just a great pleasure talking with you, and you're so inspirational for all of the things you've achieved without making a noise about it. And I found out about you through a mutual friend who just said, you have to talk to this lady. She's really just so well motivated and does so much in life, has made life fabulous for her and her family.
Thank you.
So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
It's been a great pleasure talking to Mel Hately. I've missed Janice a great deal, but I'm glad that we had your company. So talk to us anytime on Facebook. Keep yourself nice until next time we meet.